Let's cast it. I'm going to prohibit with kicker. So now they're tapped out. Interesting. I don't know these decks well enough to know. Like, I don't think they play foil with this many non-islands. They could play some amount of days. Yeah, what the hell, let's do it. They got a daze, they probably daze Dark Ret. Play out Petal. Play LED. And cast Ill-Gotten Gains. Make black. Add Chain of Vapor, Counterspell, Factor Fiction, Double Mana Leak, all this counterspell stuff. Okay, this is Iggy Pop. We're playing Premodern today. And this is, if you're a legacy gamer, almost like an Ad Nauseam Tendrils type of situation. Obviously very different in a lot of ways, but it is a blue-black based Storm deck that uses Dark Ritual, Lines of Diamond, and Graveyard Recursion to create deterministic kills. You can't really rely on discard in the main deck because of the way that Ill-Gotten Gains works. The way that this works is we are typically casting Intuition for 3 Ill-Gotten Gains in scenarios that we have enough mana. Of course, they give you one of the Ill-Gotten Gains. Oh, sorry, I'm struggling over here. I still got a bad cough. So Ill-Gotten Gains, 2 and 2 black, sorcery. It exiles after you use it. Both players discard their hands, and then you both get to select 3 cards from your graveyard, and those become your hand. So basically the order is you both discard, so as the player that casts this, I get the benefit of the information as to what was in their hand, and then as the active player, I choose my 3 cards first, so then the opponent gets the benefit of they get to see what you select before they make their selection, unless they actually have something relevant, which usually they don't, at least early on, or by the time you've decided to loop Ill-Gotten Gains. And especially since you're looping it a bunch of times, and they're just picking them back up again. Their choice really doesn't matter too much until the last one, if at all. But the way the loop works is, generally speaking, you're picking up Ill-Gotten Gains again, as well as 2 pieces of mana. And since Cabal Ritual and LED are both +3 rituals, and Ill-Gotten Gains cost 4, you're netting 2 mana each loop. You can also do it with Dark Ritual and LED. You can even do it with, various other not ideal mana, as long as you have enough starting mana. Sometimes you have enough starting mana and an Ill-Gotten Gains, but you don't actually have access to Cabal Rit or LED, or vice versa. And Intuition actually is mana neutral if it can get those cards and leverage them. So sometimes the line is you use Intuition to fill your graveyard enough to get Cabal Ritual and to get Threshold so that your looping actually works. You'll do something like Intuition for Cabal Rits, cast your Cabal Rit, cast an LED, and then Ill-Gotten Gains. And then with the first Ill-Gotten Gains, you can pick up your Intuition and 2 pieces of mana, and then with that Intuition, you can get your other 3 Ill-Gotten Gains and go through the full loop. And of course, at the end of the loop, because Intuition doesn't exile, you can keep casting it. But at the end of the loop, there are various easy ways to wind up with a Brain Freeze and have plenty of Storm. There's even ways where, like against Burn, they might be able to kill you on their upkeep, but you can use Deep Analysis to kill them on your own turn, because you can target them. So about the list, and how does it differ from how this deck was built before I started playing it? Initially, I had seen 15 land, 2 of which were Ancient Tombs. There were no main deck Orm's Chants. Of course, no City of Brass. There was only the 4 Deltas, 3 Islands, 1 Swamp. There was a full set of Mental Note. There was no Opt, I think. I think it was playing Sleight of Hand. And instead it was playing Impulse, main deck Chain of Vapor, and a full set of Merchant Scroll. That was like the stock deck that I saw everywhere when I first entered the format and looked at this deck. But I found a certain amount of clunkiness to it. Ancient Tomb's really bad against burn, doesn't cast your cantrips, and more often than not, more often than I'm comfortable with, or that I think the deck is capable of, I was just unable to put the combo together. So slight power level decrease, of course, with no soul lands, 1 extra land, less Mental Note, but it's a lot more consistent and smooth, more blue sources, an extra island. I don't love milling over my fetchables with Mental Note, and playing 4 Mental Note and only 4 total fetchables is a really easy way to do that. I also found Merchant Scroll just to be clunky as a 4 of. You don't need that many of them. I do want additional copies of various cards that you can get with Merchant Scroll. But 2 has felt just fine. I can take or leave the Peak. The card is incredible sometimes. There's only so much counter magic in the format, and some of it is soft, so it can be very helpful to know if your opponent just doesn't have it and they're faking it, or if it's just a mana leak that you can actually play around. Rituals. I don't find myself getting it with Merchant Scroll very much. It's just simply a good card that I don't necessarily want 2 of, like, almost ever. And of course, it's just a cantrip, which helps this deck function so that you can hit your land drops. Obviously, just cycling is the worst version of a cantrip, but it still helps shorten the deck up. And I think there's enough blue and counter spells where main deck Orm's Chant just makes sense. It's pretty easy to leverage. But I'd say some more of the recent innovations would be the sideboard. So I wanted to figure out a way to be able to dodge Graveyard Hate post-board. For a while, I was testing multiple hunting packs. This is like the Empty the Warrens of the format, basically. Makes 4/4 beasts, but it costs 7. It is an instant, though, so you can get it with Cunning Wish. And I was trying out a full set and bring in 3, but there are, of course, problems. It costs a lot. You're trying to get double green. If you draw one naturally, you can't Intuition for it. And then when you do draw one naturally, the decks that you're playing it against, you're mostly trying to cast Orm's Chant as well. So then you need, black for rituals, white for chant. Maybe you have to double chant, so double white, double green for hunting pack. It was tough to put together sometimes. It was mostly good against control decks, which I realized that just bringing in an extra brain freeze is actually better against control decks and easier to put together and more widely applicable in other matchups, and potentially even useful having an extra one in the sideboard to be able to double brain freeze with Cunning Wish, double Cunning Wish. And of course the idea with we'll call it a juke like that, previously hunting pack and now just extra brain freeze, is that you actually just take ill-gotten gains out. So I'll often take ill-gotten gains out, maybe some of the mental notes, trim a Cabal Writ, some of the matchups you want Orm's Chant, some you don't. But now you can play Duress, you can play Arcane Denial, because the plan is just totally different. Counterspells aren't the greatest with LED, but Arcane Denial is really good at stopping their thing, like countering a Parallax Tide, and then getting to draw an additional card and kill them when you untap. Now, the reason why Duress isn't good with ill-gotten gains is you Duress a counterspell. Sure, you can resolve your ill-gotten gains, but then they get to pick the counterspell back up. So you'd have to have enough mana to... a lot of starting mana, because you're not going to be netting mana, because you're going to have to pick up and cast a Duress each loop. It's just not really something that you can do with ill-gotten gains. But when you're just trying to resolve multiple brain freezes or a hunting pack off a Cunning Wish, Duress is fantastic. So It's nice to be able to bring those in. But I'm still figuring it all out as far as what matchups I want to juke, what I don't. Some of them you just want duress. Some of you want duress and Arcane Denial. Sometimes you want Arcane Denial, but you just can't afford to play it on the draw, but you want it on the play. I'm still in the process of figuring all of that out. So what I tend to do when I'm trying to figure that stuff out is to board the juke in more often than I should, just to test the waters and see how things feel. I'll often board it in when I'm pretty darn sure I'm not supposed to, but I just want to know how the play patterns play out, in hopes that eventually I can actually master this deck, because despite having played it quite a bit, I still run into scenarios that baffle me, still run into new situations that are difficult to navigate, and I'm still learning the format and other decks, so I can't possibly master any deck until I'm at least familiar enough with other decks that I know for sure how to sideboard. And someone who's been in the format longer might see a land drop, be able to identify the deck, whereas I see a land drop and maybe I can identify it down to 3 or 4 decks, or a land drop in 1 card, whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Playing in LobsterCon this weekend. Excited for that. And I'm having probably the most fun in this format as opposed to any other format, so I'm going to keep jamming it. And I'll see you in the first round. All right, here we go. Round 1 against Hackman87. We're on the play. We have wished them good luck. They've also said good luck. You're exclaiming. All right, this hand is fine. I will pass. Got some cantrips, some lands, acceleration, protection. Pretty well-rounded. We're looking for like Intuition, LED, ways to fill our graveyard, and Cabal Writ. I don't think I'm gonna start by taking a Cabal Writ. I'd probably rather have either lands or ways to fill my graveyard. All right, double land, not the best, but take it. Let's play Island and Opt. But we'll take an LED. And against Swamp, I think I'm just gonna play it out. Do think it's the best card in my hand. And basic Swamp tends to not have ways to kill it, although they could be green. Headhunter. Common to play that player discards a card. Alright. That's kind of annoying, but it might not matter. Opt, I will cast that. Another LED. I'm gonna bottom this one. Dark Writ. Play Gemstone Mine. And we'll pass. I think I can afford to discard Orum's Chant. Maybe if that's the case, I should have just cast it instead with Kicker. I guess I can still do it since priorities come back. Unless they play some sort of instant. Well, let's move into beginning of combat. Oh, I gave them priority back because of you make mana and then undo it. It gives them priority. Yeah, I'm just going to chant. Like, it's not even necessarily a bad thing getting less counters on my Gemstone Mine for Cabal Ritual purposes. Alright, now they can't attack or cast spells. They can play a land. Let's Orzhov. Find another land. I think I'll play the Delta instead of the Swamp. Get another card in the graveyard. Alright, they're going to attack. They have 4 lands in play, 6 cards in hand. We're going to discard this Swamp. A hippie? Okay. Well, now is the time to draw some action. I will fetch. We did not. It might be the time to just rip on these opts. We're going to have 4, 6, 8, 16, 12 mana and 3 opts. Maybe I should go 2 opt and 1 LED. Although at least one of the opt is bound to find a ritual like by accident. We find Intuition, 9 mana. That's 6 mana post Intuition, 2 mana post Ill-Gotten Gains. That should be able to do it. So I guess that means I just pick up 3 opt. Writ, LED. Full priority. Crack for blue. And black. Yeah, then we get to see their hand. Bane of the Living. Face up. Okay, and they had a Vindicate. Alright, opt, opt, opt. Oh, did I count this wrong? 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have 7 mana post-opt. Somehow I counted 2 mana. Well, like I said, we're bound to run into a ritual, at least by accident. And if we can find an Intuition or Cunning Wish early, then we can look for some sort of ritual. Cast 1 opt. Yeah, there's a Cunning Wish. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Cunning Wish. It might not be good enough. Well, it's good. If it made green, it would be better. But I'm gonna take the Cabal Writ. Opt again, not taking Island. Find Orum's Chant. We can go to 10 mana, but then I won't have double green. Or if I try to Intuition, I'll only have 4 mana. They have 50 cards in deck. 8, 9, 10, 11. Can only mill them for 33. Yeah, I think we mostly lost. Guess I'll cast the Cabal Writ. Play Cunning Wish. Could Brain Freeze myself. I think I have to. We will likely hit our Deep Analysis. And then our Deep Analysis has to kind of hit the nut. Non-zero chance we don't hit our Deep Analysis as well, but... Well, let's think positive here. There it is. There's the Deep Analysis. We will cast it. And... dead. So, we should have won that game. I punted by picking up 3 opt. For sure. I just counted the mana wrong. I don't know how I did that, but I did. Alright, so black-white, they have a lot of discard and a lot of graveyard control. On the play, Arcane Denial's pretty good for, like, stopping Hippie. Previously, I've had relative success going with a traditional, like, approach, meaning leaving Iggy in and just playing some sort of bounce. But I want to test the limits of the whole Duress, Arcane Denial, extra Brain Freeze. Chant is not the best. Chain of Vapor's not bad. Yeah, let's try it like this. The Chain of Vapor, if they go like Dark Writ Hippie, bouncing it is pretty good. Yeah, I got no problem with this hand. Go Swamp and Duress. Nice. Get to take their Duress. Play Swamp and pass. Cabal Writ's not bad. Let's play an Island. And we're gonna have to counter this Headhunter. They did find their 3rd land, so Hippie's coming after it. Maybe we can draw into like an LED or something here. Okay, we draw Opt. They get to draw 2. Cunning Wish. Okay, I'm going to cast the Opt. Don't need another Intuition. Brain Freeze is interesting. Alright. I'll pass. Would have been nice to find another Arcane Denial. See if they go for Vindicate or Hippie. Go for Vindicate. Could Brain Freeze myself. I don't think I want to do that. I'll just take that one on the chin. Another land. Pretty good. Now they get the Hippie in. Now you can Intuition or LED. Another land is fine. Alright, do I have enough to double Brain Freeze them? It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No. I can make 4 4s. I have 4, 5, 6, 9, 12. I have enough to Brain Freeze as well, which makes 24 things. The only way it could go wrong, I think, is they wind up chumping with Hippie and playing Bane, and then the following turn, they could potentially have enough lands to morph this. They need 6 mana to kill 4 4s. I'm gonna go for it. Play Dark Writ, Ball Writ, LED, hold priority, cast Cunning Wish. Yes, I would rather Brain Freeze me. No. I don't think that's actually true. We could have also gone for the double Brain Freeze and then just tried to draw into another Brain Freeze. But pretty tough with Hippie hitting you. It's Hunting Pack time. I also gotta hope they didn't draw some sort of direct sweeper. Alright, we hope they play a Bane or morph it without playing a land drop. We're still dead to Dark Writ in that sense. Or no, I'm sorry, they have the double chump. Because we have 24 power coming in. So they could go like land, morph this thing, play a chumper, a headhunter or something. They're gonna vindicate one of them, buy themselves a turn. And a sword's another. Okay. Do they have a land? Doesn't seem like it. No attacks, so they're jumping. Let's see. Anything relevant in the graveyard? Withered Wretch, which we expect. No. Nothing that's going to do anything. Alright, so they take 12. I mean, that's a good sign that they're using single target removal. Alright, we got there. Alright, on the draw, this plan is definitely worse. It's definitely worse. But ill-gotten gains can be pretty bad too. Let's try it again. Really, I'm just limit testing here. I have a good record against this deck, but I feel like almost every game I've played has been really close. And I've certainly lost to them before. No turn 1 duress is nice. Our own duress. I don't think I need to cast that duress off of a pedal. Maybe I should have played the LED. They didn't have duress that turn. They're going to play their little thing that, yeah, which I don't really care when we have deep analysis in our hand. Looking for Dark Writ or a land. Pain Denial. Can't really afford to keep that. If I knew the land was underneath it, I think I would have. Okay, let's... We have 2, 3, 4, 7. Not enough to really do anything just yet. I'm going to cast this duress to inform my opt. Oops, all hippies. Guess I take the swords. Their hand is not very good. So that's good for us. I'll take a land. And we'll pass. I feel like you're not supposed to keep a hand like this against me. Alright, we get hit. I'll be happy to discard Deep Analysis. Jade hits the board. Nothing else. Love it. Another Cunning Wish. I'm gonna get a swamp. And just cast this Deep Analysis. Okay. I guess I don't necessarily need to play out this LED. They discard it. We're pretty close to threshold, and we have enough rainbow sources where Cabal Writ could actually... We could still make 4/4s. Actually helps here, discarding a card. Unless they follow up with Duress. I'm going to discard one of the Cunning Wishes. And number 3. Here comes Hippie. Alrighty. I think it's game time here. You can cast Sleight of Hand, and it doesn't even have to hit anything. The rest is kind of nice, in case they have a sweeper. Sure. Play Gemstone, play Petal. Make blue, get our 7th card. Cast, I guess it didn't matter what color we made, we'll cast Cabal Writ. Cast the rest. I mean, I figured it was going to miss, but... Storm. Checks for a sweeper. Just make sure I'm holding priority. Make green. And we'll make some beasts. A whole bunch of them. I think they can survive if they quad block. Yeah. They'll literally have to quad chump block. They would need some sort of like artifact sweeper like Ninja Land, so I didn't find it. Oh, they can quad block and then still have 1 draw for it. Powder Keg. Nope, I guess they don't play it. Sweet. We got them. We're 1-0. See you in round 2. Hey everyone, thanks for making it this far. Just wanted to thank everybody, and if you're looking for more, show you where you can find that. If you go to the description below, you can find all of my links. If you go further down in the comments, you can also find my links, which will bring you to my Patreon, various tiers for Discord access, early access, sideboard guides, donation decks, coaching sessions. You can also check out the podcast within those links, as well as my Twitch, where I do most of my content. You can see the commands that you can use in the chat. Let's say you do dono. You're wondering how to get a link, how to do it. Tells you right here. And the members Discord is within the Storm, MTG Storm community. And of course, it's always going to help if you hit the like and subscribe. So thanks again. Keep storming, y'all. All right, round 2 against Random Guy 1017. On the draw, this hand is fine. Cantrips, mana, lands. We'll take it. Alright, we're playing against Burn. This is not an easy matchup. Play Island, and I'm just going to pass. I'm really hoping to just find, like, LED and Cunning Wish. I can make some 4/4s. Alright, we go down to 19. Jackal Pup. That must have been their draw for the turn. Otherwise, he'd lead on that. Lava Man. They have 3 cards. Let's opt. Going to bottom the fetch land. Find another land. More cantrips. Let's go. Light of Hand. Iggy. Okay. That could work. Opt. Don't need another Cabal Ret. Peek. Okay. I mean, we can find Intuition. Maybe even a Merchant Scroll. Might be able to pull this off. We don't have an LED though. Them having just the Curse Scroll there is pretty good for us. Okay, there's LED. Let's cast Peek. Any intuitions? Another opt. Okay. Cunning Wish? Intuition? Yeah. Okay. So now, this is super easy from here. Perfect. We'll go Dark Writ, Cabal Writ, Ball Writ, LED. We can go Intuition, getting the other LEDs. We want to get enough Storm so that I can Brain Freeze myself and them and cast Deep Analysis. Lay out the LED, which we have enough for. You just got to make sure you actually do it. Play this Iggy, get Cabal Writ, LED, Intuition, Cabal Writ, LED, go get the other Iggies. I mean, we haven't even started the chain with these 3 Iggies, and we already have 13 Storm and 12 mana, so I would say we have enough to do everything we need here. Cast the Iggy, get Iggy, Cabal Writ, LED, cast Cabal Writ, LED, Ill-Gotten Gains, pick up the Iggy again, Cabal Writ. I think I want to grab Intuition, then I can cast Cabal Writ, cast Intuition, or Brain Freeze. Yeah, we just don't even have to freeze ourselves. We can just get Deep Analysis in this pile with the Brain Freeze and, I don't know, another Cabal Writ. It's fine. They give us the Cabal Writ. Now we can cast Iggy, pick up Brain Freeze. Doesn't really matter. What else? Brain Freeze, LED, Intuition, sure. There we go. LED, full priority. Target them with Deep Analysis. Might as well cast Intuition and Brain Freeze them. And now they don't get to untap. Because the problem with this matchup is sometimes you freeze them out, but then they still get an upkeep, at which point they can spend instant speed removal. I mean, like burn. But post-board's the hard matches, because they have Pyroblasts, and they kill you quickly. So, still not... And they sometimes have hate. You never know when they're just going to keep a hand that doesn't have any of the hate or Pyroblast. And then you try to... You know, the deck is diluted because they're trying to deal with the other things. We're slowing down to try to deal with it, and then we just die. And sometimes they just force you to go for it, and they have Pyroblast. I think I still want to keep testing no ill-gotten gains. And go with Duress, the extra Brain Freeze, and a Chain of Vapor. I don't know how I feel about Arcane Denial. Might be slightly better than Chant. From a Cabal Writ and a Chant. I mean, we're on the draw, so it's not as good. Maybe I just cut the Chain of Vapor, because we're not trying to bounce hate anyways. Alright, this hand is not bad. This hand is capable of a pretty quick double freeze. They're playing Baubles. Got a Duress. I don't think I want to get Swamp. I'm going to use Gemstone Mine to Duress them. Yep, so they've got Burn and they've got a Blast. I think I would like to take the Blast They're gonna bobble, they see Dark Rit, they bolt us. They draw a card, 2 cards. Mog Fanatic, sure. Alrighty, they were AFK for a little bit. Well, they said BRB and then I was texting, so I think I was actually AFK for more. Another Dark Red is actually excellent. So, can we do this now? So total Storm. The Intuition has to get Cunning Wish into Brain Freeze. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8. Total mana is 10. We have 2, 4, 6, 7. We have exactly enough mana. We have enough... Do we have enough upfront blue to hold the Brain Freeze to cast after Cunning Wish? We would need 3. No, because I have to use 1 of the blue to start the Dark Rits, so we have to cast Brain Freeze with Intuition on the stack. So that would be, just to get the full Storm count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first Brain Freeze would be for 6, and then Cunning Wish Brain Freeze would be for 8, that's 14. It's 42, so that's not enough. Okay, well, then we've got to pass. Get in for another 1. Not going to take much more to pull this off. The problem is if they draw into a Pyroblast. The nice thing is I can use their Incinerate as Storm, which, as it stands, will be exactly enough because they're going to fetch, go to 48 cards. The Incinerate will give me 2 more Brain Freeze Storms, which instead of 42 cards will be 48, so I guess even if I don't draw anything, we should be able to pull this off. Yeah, I'm not going to cast the Sligh. Let me make sure I get this count right. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 10 mana total. Intuition plus Cunning Wish is 6. Brain Freeze is 8. And this Brain Freeze is 10. So we have enough mana. Storm will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This Brain Freeze being 6. Then, I'm sorry, it'll be 7 because of their Incinerate. That's when we're going to do this. And then Cunning Wish plus Brain Freeze will be 9, plus the 7 is 16, which will be 48 cards, which will be exactly how much they have. So we're going to play Petal, an LED, we're going to crack, we'll get a Swamp. I'm going to pretend like I'm going for something, and then realize maybe I counted wrong. I don't want them to, like, get wise to using their Storm and maybe hold the Incinerate. I don't think they would, but it's funny that it wouldn't be very good for us if they did. Okay, they fetch, go to the 48 cards we want them to, and it looks like they are going to Incinerate or Bolt. That's fine too. I mean, I guess that kind of signals Pyroblast, huh? I mean, I think I'm still going to play into it. They might just have another Bolt. So we're going to hold priority, cast Intuition, Brain Freeze, crack for blue, and hope we don't get Pyroblasted. We do lose if they have it, and they do. Okay. I mean, maybe it's obvious enough that they have it by casting Bolt instead of Incinerate that I shouldn't go for it. I just don't know how much better things are getting by waiting. I'm going to try for this plan again. Yeah, we can keep this. Going to fetch for an island. Maybe I shouldn't be playing Deep Analysis if we're not going for the Iggy plan. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I'm just going to opt now. Take another land, especially one that doesn't cost us life. Hopefully no Jackal Pup start. Okay. Sweet. Let's go for Sleight of Hand. I think I'll take a Petal this time. And look to end step the opt. They get a fetch land going. Bobble. Seal of Fire, sure. We've got 4 cards left. Let's opt. Merchant Scroll. I'll keep that. Cabal Writ, not the worst. Gemstone Mine. I think I would like to cast Deep Analysis here. Just use my Petal to do so. If they want to Pyroblast this, that's fine. Be an expensive duress, but okay, they do. We're still at a pretty healthy life total. 14 is not too bad. Would like to not get Ball Lightninged. Another Bobble, fetch. They have 3 cards. Sure does look like a Ball Lightning. Yep. Okay. That's a problem. 6 damage from one card is definitely a problem. Orm's Chant. I think I have to deep analysis. Down to 5 life. Cast this Opt. I can't really afford to take a sleight of hand. Intuition. Let's say I kick a Chant. No, I feel like we just gotta get lucky. I hope they can't kill us somehow. Don't really see that happening, but it's possible. Fog Fanatic, only good for 1. And Fire Blast, yep. Alright, we're 1-1. Still not 100% sure what the correct thing to do is against Burn. I feel like that's pretty much what happens to me most of the time against them. I just get destroyed by a Pyroblast, or I can't kill them quick enough. It's like when I do have it quick enough, they just have the Pyroblast. And it's the same thing with Ill-Gotten Gains, right? Like, Pyroblast is still a problem. Like, Chant plus Ill-Gotten Gains is probably equally as difficult to pull off as just bringing in Duresses and coming off the Ill-Gotten Gains plan, except additionally, if they have Graveyard Hate, like, we're at least dodging Graveyard Hate, right? And we have the opportunity with Duress and Arcane Denial to slow them down. I do think I should cut Deep Analysis, though, post-board. I'm just so used to it being an important tool against them, but that's only when you're doing Iggy stuff. All right, see you in the 3rd round. All right, round 3 against Valenzuela. We can keep this hand well-rounded. I'd rather have a basic island, but Swamp is also valuable. Swamp, go. Okay, just gonna pass. Rashad Port, huh? Not sure I've yet played against a Port deck that also plays basic Swamp. Cunning Wish, I'm gonna say no. They're gonna Port. I'm gonna cast Opt. I will take an LED. Probably would have kept Cunning Wish if I knew that was my next draw, but that's okay. Deep Analysis. I'm gonna cast the Sleight of Hand. Another Iggy. Take the Merchant Scroll. I'm gonna play out my Lion's Eye Diamond. It is the most powerful card in my hand. And similar to when we played against Black-White, I think it's pretty unlikely that they destroy it when it's in play. Is this a hippie? Destroy target land. Sure. Certainly annoying. Another Dark Rit, huh? What can we do here? We have 2, 4, 6, 9. 5 mana post Ill-Gotten Gains. We could pick up Scroll, LED, Dark Rit. 7, 10 mana. A Merchant Scroll, that's 8 post Merchant Scroll, which can get Intuition. But then that's only 5 post Intuition. I need 6, because I need 2 mana post Ill-Gotten Gains. They're going to start porting us. I think I'm supposed to cast this Deep Analysis off a Dark Rit. Draw 2. Okay. Not the best, not the worst. I would like to draw some more lands. Island would be nice. Dark Rit, oh boy. Morph? It might be the sweeper card. It's like 2x to morph and all creatures get -X/-X. It's 4/3. Alright, nice. Found a land. Question is, do I peek? Or do I just pedal Deep Analysis? Yeah, I pedal Deep Analysis. There's a good chance they're gonna port my blue source and I can peek my upkeep. And when you spew 1 with a draw 2, it's just kind of like cycling cards, which is what we need to do. We need to keep things moving. I don't want to go down cards, but this doesn't go down cards. Oh, well, that's real good. That is real good. All right, they get in for 2, presumably. We go to 14. They have a play. They do. More land destruction. That's fine. We're going to get ported anyways. Don't need Chant. Oh, I guess it's not fine because I don't have enough upfront mana now for Ill-Gotten Gains. Ooh. And now we're getting ported. Okay. Well, we'll go to clean up. Get rid of a Chant. Beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. Alright, so this is just a 6/6. And they skipped porting to do this. So any land and we win. Dark Rit, Petal, got him. Dark Rit, LED, LED, Illidan Gains, blue, black, black. Now we can get Merchant Scroll, LED, LED, Instant Earth, Instant Bloods, Dark Rit, Plague Spitter. Yeah, this looks like a pretty good matchup for us. Leave these out. Go grab Intuition. Then we Intuition for the Iggies, and then we cycle through those, and we freeze them out. Okay, I would imagine they're going to have a lot of graveyard interaction. I'm actually going to do the usual Iggy and Mental Note cutting. I like Deep Analysis. I don't think we need Chant. And then we can play Duress and Arcane Denial, the extra Brain Freeze, and Chain of Vapor might come in use. A double Brain Freeze opener. Interesting. I will keep. Mulliganed. Hopefully they open on some graveyard hate. I would love that. Phyrexian Furnace, I think it's called. Or a Planar Void, yep. Annoying for a Cabal Ritual, but not that big of a deal. Going to lead on Duress. Really don't want to get Duressed. Yeah, exactly. We'll take that. And they're going to start porting us. I'll just let it happen. Lay out this Polluted Delta. And pass. And a Merchant Scroll. Probably going to play out this Phyrexian Arena, which will accelerate our Brain Freezes. So I'm going to cast this Opt. Another Merchant Scroll? No. Dark Rit's good. We draw Sleight of Hand. Pretty good too. These are both pretty good. But I think I want LED. And I'm going to cast this Merchant Scroll. Go get... Is it Arcane Denial? Cunning Wish. It's probably Cunning Wish. We're really close to a triple Brain Freeze. What do we need for that? 2, 4, 7, 8, 9 mana. We have 3, 4, 5, 8. We have 9, but we're getting ported, so 8. Yeah, I mean, it might be difficult to pull off because I need a lot of upfront blue mana. I would need 2 more upfront blue mana. But it also creates redundancy in our hand for discard. Still gonna have trouble with discard if we get Duressed. Probably just take LED in that case. Alright, more land destruction. Pretty good. Land is a great draw. I mean, we're pretty close. We can also just like if they cast a spell, you'd end step one of the Brain Freezes and then set up a double Brain Freeze. They go Ice Quake. If I were to freeze them, they'd go to 40 cards, effectively 38 because of their Phyrexian Arena. And then we untap, let's say we draw blank. We're getting ported. Yeah, I don't think... We're getting squeezed too much on mana here. What if we want Dark Rit, Brain Freeze? No. Dark Rit, Cabal Rit, Freeze, Freeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be 9. 27 cards. They'd be left with 19 cards, and we'd have a Cabal Rit, LED Cunning Wish. Basically 1 land. Yeah, I guess we're just waiting. A lot of land destruction. I'll port the mine. Wrong lands. That's nice. Like that. Alright, they play a spell that doesn't destroy one of our lands. I think it might be worth rain freezing here. An island. Guess I'll get a swamp. Rain freeze them for 6. Infest, swamp, and duress. Get them out. Land destruction, swamp, swamp. Get them out. Go to our turn, get ported. Should continue porting the gemstone mine. Or maybe it makes sense to, this is... Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Petal? Cabal Rit. 2, 4, 5, 6, 9 mana. Not enough to make 4/4s. And not enough to double Brain Freeze. I need 2 blue up front and the mana for these black rituals. Petal was by far our best draw there. We would have won on the spot. Destroy my island. Yeah, that's the opposite of what we want to happen. Still just want to draw lands or petals. Worth the swamp. Another LED. Okay. I'll pass. Right now we only have to get to 11 Storm. That's a dark ret. Be a big monster. Oh, morphing it. Yeah. Sure. We go to 8. Oh my god, come on. Give me a break. Yep. And we get ported. No land. Yeah, we don't have an out now. Very close. I think I like the plan. You're just like 1 mana shy the whole time. Alright, game 3 on the play. Can't keep this. Alright, plenty of lands. I like that. Put Cabal Red down. And I guess I'm just gonna pass. If I cast Slight, I just get to rest. So I'd rather keep it. We'll take the Slight, but at least we don't, like, spend it to find a card that we want and get that duress. Well, now if I find a duress, I'll want to cast it, so I'll take the LED and we'll pass. Could have taken land there. It's a tough choice. Alright, we're getting ported. It's fine. Hopefully draw a Cunning Wish. Intuition. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 10. Alright, I'm going to play out Petal. I'm likely going to Intuition for Cunning Wish. Probably going to blow up one of our lands. Then we'll have 2, 4, 6, 9, and we're just going to be hoping to draw a piece of mana. Uh-oh. They goofed. Well, hopefully we just draw mana so that it wouldn't have mattered. We can also, well, can't really offer to play without the island. They can't just put the card in the graveyard. At the City of Brass. Cunning Wish, and Cunning Wish. We draw Arcane Denial. Put lethal dudes on the board. We can hold up Arcane Denial. Hopefully find like a duress and a mana piece. I don't want them to have a sweeper. We didn't really see an effective sweeper last time though. I think I'm just supposed to go for it. Dark Ret. Although honestly, had they actually blown up our land, we would have been holding up Arcane Denial, and then we probably would have drawn into being able to do it. Oh, they're just scooping. I think either way we had them. So 2-1. See you in round 4. All right, round 4 against Roboton. Botton. We'll keep. And is very good. Very conclave. Once again, I apologize. I have a cough drop in now. I'm playing this match like a couple days after the other 3. But I apologize if I don't get to the mute button quick enough or if you hear some cough drop noises. My apologies. Alright, we're gonna sleight of hand. I'll take the Iggy. And we'll pass. It is currently Friday night. LobsterCon is tomorrow, so I wanted to finish these 2 before the event. Alright, they play an island and pass. Another Iggy. Well, let's play Slight. Brain Freeze is interesting. I'm actually going to take this Brain Freeze. I think it will eventually win this game. Because if we draw more action, fine, we can do that instead. If we draw more mana, eventually we can do like a bunch of mana, Brain Freeze ourselves, Ill-Gotten Gains, then counter that, we Ill-Gotten Gains again. And then we got a big old Brain Freeze. Or we can even Brain Freeze them into Ill-Gotten Gains and Brain Freeze again. We draw Orm's Chant. That'll make it easy to do it as well. I probably wouldn't have done it if I didn't have these land drops in my hand, because I do expect to just kind of pass for a couple turns. Which is kind of the play pattern that... one of the play patterns that's very good for us in this matchup anyways. As long as you have land drops. Ooh, and they've missed their land drop, so that's very good. Deep Analysis, huh? We're probably casting that one next turn. The AK, I would imagine they find their land now. Would have been great if they didn't, but... Alright, I think I'm always casting this Deep Analysis, but we'll see what we draw here. See what we draw. Petal. Let's cast it. I'm going to prohibit with kicker. So now they're tapped out. Interesting. I don't know these decks well enough to know. Like, I don't think they play foil with this many non-islands. They could play some amount of days. Yeah, what the hell, let's do it. They got a daze, they probably daze Dark Ret. Play out Petal. Play LED. And cast Ill-Gotten Gains. Make black. Add Chain of Vapor, Counterspell, Factor Fiction, Double Mana Leak, all this counterspell stuff. Pretty wild they chose to tap out. Look at LED, Dark Ret, Ill-Gotten Gains. Nice, we got there. So we would have Dark Ret, LED, Ill-Gotten Gains, and then had what? 5, 8, 4 mana. And we could pick up LED, Rain Freeze, Light of Hand. We could Slight, hopefully hit some sort of ritual, or Petal, or LED. And then we could play LED, hold priority. And I'd be one short. I wouldn't be able to Sleight of Hand, so I'd have to just get a Petal and play it. And hold priority. Deep Analysis targeting them. And Brain Freeze. And I think 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Deep Analysis is 13. Then Brainstorm is 4, or Brain Freeze is 14. So I'd mill them for 42, plus the Deep Analysis for 2 more. They would go to 2 cards and have to kill us. They'd go to 1 card on their draw step and have 2 turns to kill us, so. And we'd see their whole deck. Alternatively, we could Deep Analysis ourselves. No, that wouldn't be advisable. Okay, I used a lot of our clock there, so let's go Duresses, Arcane Denial, the Brain Freeze. I'm going to come off the Iggy plan. This is the kind of matchup where this strategy is like perfect. We'll trim one of the Cabal Writs. And the last trim is kind of a mystery to me here. Oh, I guess they don't want to play against Storm, so they left. Okie doke. Well, see you in the final round. Okay, final round against Kongui. Our hand is excellent. We draw a Dark Ret. We have a turn 1, 24 power. Oh, turn 1 Duress. That's a bummer. Well, we're kind of obligated to take Cunning Wish. They're still in fine shape. We got this Sleight of Hand. Hopefully we don't get Duress on turn 2. If I draw Intuition or Cunning Wish, I might not even cast Sleight of Hand. Second Sleight of Hand? Okay. I'll cast it. Take the mental note, and I'm just going to pass. The only way we get punished here by not playing LEDs is if they have, like, double, or, you know what? Shit. There is Cabal Therapy. Probably should have at least played 1 out. Oh, Island. Okay. Ugh. We're going to be in it for the long haul, most likely. This is probably Tog. We're one of the only blue-based Duress decks. Yeah, I'm gonna cast this Sleight of Hand. We're really looking for Orm's Chant. Guess I'll take a land. Be really nice if Mental Note hit Deep Analysis. Be annoying if they countered it. Like, they might, like, Force Spike or Daze it. We flipped over Cabal Writ and Orm's Chant. Bummer, I did want that Orm's Chant. Iggy's good. But I don't think I'm just gonna rip here. Cunning Wish. This might be some sort of pseudo-mirror. Factor Fiction. Yeah, they might be... I know some people have been playing like a Duress version. Kind of like how we do coming out of the board. Like not actually playing Ill-Gotten Gains. Just making beasts. Dark Cunning Wish. You got Factor Fiction. So, what we can do here... Play these out. And, pass the turn. And then when they cast Factor Fiction... we can make a bunch of 4/4s, and hopefully it's good enough. Cast Cunning Wish, make green and whatever, and make a bunch of 4/4s. Could have also just waited and then end step the Cunning Wish trying to get Orm's Chant, but I had a sneaking suspicion they weren't on any sort of Storm deck. that they're just, I don't know, I guess they play Cunning Wish. But it still looks like Psychatog. I think we just do Fact or Fiction against the world. Honestly, we could just disrespect them. You go for the disrespect? Yeah, let's just go full disrespect. This is a respectful place, playing Premodern in the practice room. But, you know, sometimes you gotta stand for something. And right now it's a lack of respect. Gosh, okay. They do play, what's it called? Powder Keg sometimes. But they don't have mana to Fact or Fiction into Powder Keg. And if they do find it, we're dead. Like not 100%, maybe the game drags on, but we're pretty much dead. So I'm pretty happy with the lack of respect that we showed on the Fact or Fiction. I think it was the right play. Nice. Some additional, you know, emotional damage. Alright, now we hit him with the Duress, Arcane Denial, extra Brain Freeze plan. Take out the mental notes, one of the Cabal Writs, and then here we are again. This doesn't happen every time, because there are matchups where you just don't want Orm's Chant, but I want it all. I guess it could just be a Merchant Scroll. It's really bad against Duress, but it's kind of nice with Arcane Denial. If you get to 4 mana, scrolling for Arcane can be pretty good. I can even just go down to 2 Cabal Writ. I don't necessarily need them. Yeah, let's do that. Like, by the time I would want one, I'll probably have one. Especially there might just still be one in my opener. Sand is fine. Island Go. It's not bad. I think I just want to opt on end step. I don't think there's much of a reason to walk into Force Spike. If they want to Force Spike my opt, fine. Alright, I've got 6 cards. Let's cast this opt. Dark Writ. Don't necessarily want that at the moment. I was gonna say, the thing about taking rituals this early is if you just have a little bit of foresight for how the game's gonna go, you're gonna run into rituals. It's just gonna happen. It's one of the reasons I've cut down on rituals. So you don't want to take one early. I mean, it depends on the context of your hand, obviously. But here, we're just not gonna need them yet. Let's check their hand. Like, we're looking for Cunning Wish. And, okay. Well, it hits a counterspell. I do like that. This does walk into Daze. I think I'm okay with that. Oh, shit. Why would you counterspell the Duress? Huh. Okay. I guess so that we don't know that they have no counter magic. They have a lot of it in their deck, so... They're gonna slam a Psychatog. No, they're not. Okay. Let's go ahead and cast a Sleight of Hand. Find an opt. I will take that. I mean... Triple AK is going to be tough to beat. Definitely going to be tough to beat. I guess we could have duressed the other one, and then they can only cast 1, but it is a draw 3. So, I don't know. Right. Oh, draw our other Cabal Writ. That is bad. Real bad. Cast this opt. Thing is, I kind of need a land drop. But I think I should bottom it looking for action, and assume I'm going to hit lands before I find the exact action that I need. As you can see, that's exactly what happened. Now, like, I don't know, if they find Duress, that sucks. They're drawing a lot of cards. But we have a ton of mana and double protection, so yep, there's that Duress. Probably take Duress or Chant. Take the Chant. I mean, we've done what we could. Done the right things to mitigate what's currently happening. We bottomed Dark Writ, drew one anyways. We trimmed 2 Cabal Writs. One of them was in our opener, and we've drawn into another one. We bottomed a land. We drew into a land anyways. Sometimes, that's what happens. Now, if they only have 1 counterspell in their hand, let me Infestation. Discard 2 cards, create a 2/2. That's pretty good. Come on, man. Yelling me. Gonna opt. Put it on top. Like, we might even at some point find a Brain Freeze and win with that. Cunning Wish is good. Yeah, I'm gonna cast this Duress. I don't know that I'll be trying to pop off here, but Yeah, they counter it. I'm gonna pass. I mean, they might. They probably have more counter magic. They might not. Get rid of Wonder. So they discard 2 cards. They have Psychatog and 1 unknown. So they've got some sort of pressure now. 2 unknowns. Still not playing a Tog. They want to hold up like Coliseum plus more interaction. We want to find some more protection. Think I can afford to wait some more. Getting in for another 2. Passing. Another land. I mean, lands aren't the worst, but I need to start drawing stuff. I'm gonna go for Coliseum. Take note just how few cards wind up in their deck, which is why this Brain Freeze plan is pretty good against them. Back to basics. Another zombie infestation, a land. Okay, they play out a land. They still only have 3 unknowns. We go to 10. And we draw an Orm's Chant. Very interesting. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wouldn't be enough to mill them out. Well, yeah, it would, because we'd have enough mana to get Intuition. Would be 9. For 2 more Cunning Wish, and a Merchant Scroll would be 10. Brain Freeze, 11. Put them to 2 cards. Then they'd be able to make 2 more 2/2s. I guess we would actually die to that. Okay. Guess that means I'm waiting 1 more turn. Actor Fiction. I almost considered playing out these LEDs too, because then if they do something end step, then you can just pile it on. Interesting. I don't care about Mana Leak. I do care about Counterspell. Let's put those together. Or you put Counterspell and AK. Or Mana Leak, AK Gush. Let's do that. They can't make lethal. Unless I gave them all 5 again. Alright, they took all the card draw. Wait, I might be able to... The Storm is 1. If I go 2... Let's say it just resolves, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Intuition is 7. Or Cunning Wish, Brain Freeze. Give us Brain Freeze is 8. I would hit them for 24 cards. It wouldn't be enough. If I played out my LEDs, it would have. They start casting those draw spells, they're in trouble. I would love to draw Duress. We're gonna Gush. Damage step? I think they're in their second main. I'm gonna let that go. I'm just AKing. Okay, well now we can do stuff. Let's Dark Writ. Let that one go. It's Orm's Chant. We're gonna Counterspell. Cast the Cabal Writ. Cast a Cunning Wish. If Stifle, we're in trouble. You have to cast Cabal Writ, because if I just Brain Freeze, then they can Mana Leak their own AK. You got Stifle? Looks like a no. Looks like they're dead. I mean, they go to 0 cards. Exactly. Not that you can go to less than 0, but they can still AK or counter their own AK. Nope, they're just dead. Alright, that's, I mean, about how I hoped it would go. It's surprising to me that they took all the draw spells and that they just started firing them off in the middle of combat too. But hey, we'll take it. So you'll be watching this on YouTube either on a Monday or Tuesday, which means that'll be after LobsterCon. Hopefully I won the whole thing. But this is the list that I played. Feels weird talking as future Tony, saying that I played with it when I haven't yet. But it feels really good. I forget exactly what happened on the other 3 matches. I think we were 2-1. I think I maybe punted one, or I know I've really been pushing the sideboarding in spots where I don't necessarily think I'm going to be making the sideboard switch, just to push the limits and see how it feels. But I'm almost positive we went 4-1. So yeah, I feel good about this list. There will likely be small tweaks and changes over the course of time as I start to play against other decks more regularly and, you know, get more familiar with the format. But I think a lot of the time, opponents' lack of knowing this deck trumps my lack of knowledge of the format. Especially at this point, because I have been playing it for a number of months now, so I am, you know, although I play a ton of different formats, and I only play this one so much, but I'm not totally green anymore, and it definitely helps both in deck construction, sideboarding, and play. But the more people send in dono decks and kind of force me to play the decks, the more I'll know them, and I think the better I'll get in the format. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I took down Lobster Con, or at least top 8'd, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep on storming.